What's up guys, Jay Walia here and welcome to the very first installment of Pura Vida video reviews highlighting the best of luxury, entertainment and lifestyle. And I thought what better way to kick things off for the first video than to do a cigar review. And we've got a great cigar right here today to check out. This is the Quai D'Orsay No.54. Yes, this brand, has been around for quite a while. It's got a great history behind it. But it's got some great flavors as well. It's a beautiful looking cigar and I can't wait to get into it. I'll explain a bit more about the history as I'm lighting the cigar. As we go along, we'll find out a little more about the brand as well as the tasting notes. Let's do that. Alright, so the inspection. Now this cigar is of course a 54 ring gauge as evidenced by the name of the cigar itself. Now these measurements come in at 5.25 inches long, so it is about a Robusto size cigar, slightly more than that. As you can see, the wrapper, it's got an amazing color behind it. It's a very dark chocolatey brown right there. It's got a beautiful sheen. The foot is packed. That is a beautifully packed foot. And the triple cap, I must say the construction on this is immaculate. It's an expertly applied triple cap right there. There's tight invisible seams. Yes, I said invisible seams, except for one big vein that's going along the wrapper here, but that shouldn't be a problem. And yeah, this cigar, it looks great. I can't wait to cut it, light it and put foot to flame, and I'll be back with the tasting notes as well as the history behind the Quai D'Orsay. Okay, so a bit of history on this cigar. Now, if you're wondering why does the cigar have a French name, it does indeed have a French name actually, and it's a very interesting story behind it because, in the 1900s, I believe in the 1930s or something like that, the French government actually asked themselves this question. France is of course well known for, their fine cuisine, their champagne, fashion, lifestyle, but they weren't really known for cigars or tobacco products per se. So the French Foreign Affairs Ministry actually approached the Cubans and said, let's work on a collaboration, and that was how the Quai D'Orsay was born. Now, if you're wondering what Quai D'Orsay means, and by the way, that's how it's pronounced. If you're wondering what it means, it's actually a name of a street that's by the Seine River in Paris itself. And rumor has it, I heard stories, I'm not sure about this, but the Foreign Affairs Ministry was there back then, so they gave it the address, basically the street. So it's got a very interesting history. Now, why isn't this cigar brand more well known? Why don't we hear about this spoken along the same lines as the Monte Cristos and the Cohibas and the likes of that? Well, for one big reason, most of the cigars were blended for the French market. Yeah, so a lot of the blends tended to be more on the lighter side, the more floral side of things, and there came a point where there were no new cigars that were being produced at all, and people thought maybe the brand was headed for extinction. But lo and behold, Habanos just announced recently that they're revamping the entire marca itself, the entire brand. So the Quai D'Orsay was reborn once again, and they released two brand new vitolas, the number 50 and the number 54, which is this one. So I'm just getting a nice good toast on the cigar. I'm very excited to smoke the cigar actually. Beautiful open draw to the cigar. Construction, I don't think so we're going to have a problem with the construction, so I'm going to get through the first third and I'll come back with the tasting notes for the first third. Stay tuned. Alright guys, back with the first tasting notes of the first third of the Quai D'Orsay number 54. Now the cigar is smoking along fine. Great copious amounts of creamy smoke. The initial thoughts, the first third itself, it's obviously the cigar is a very young cigar. There's a lot of youth in the cigar, so it could benefit from a little while longer in the humidor, a little more aging to it. But the flavor profile is wow. When you think France, you think of champagne, of course, like I mentioned earlier. You think of wine, you think very soft, delicate flavors to it, and this is exactly the blend that has gone into the making of this cigar itself. You know, in the first third, you're getting notes, wafts of vanilla. You're getting great sort of creaminess that's coming on the palate. The smoke is very thick, it's very lush, and it stays on your tongue itself. It coats the tongue. It's got a great mouthfeel, the smoke itself. And the flavors, you know, of course you've got the vanilla like I mentioned earlier. You got this slight creme fraiche kind of connotation to the smoke, you know. It's on the finish. And a very, very strong cedar presence. Yes, very light wood to it. This is a very mild cigar. Of course, this is only the first third, so we'll find out as the cigar goes along. But for now, it's quite mild, and the flavors are really, really enjoyable. I would say this would make a pretty great morning smoke. But you know, I'll be back with more updates after this. Plumes and plumes of smoke. So I'm about to take the band off, and I must say one of the greatest things about this brand new revamp of this brand itself is the band. I mean, that is such a beautiful band right there. I hope you guys can see it. And it comes off very easily. I always love that when a band does that. You know, it doesn't rip off any tobacco or anything like that. So, the second, third flavor profiles. Wonderful. It is so floral. It really stays true to its blend. And you're getting almost a waft of floral notes from the food smoke itself, but on the palate, you know, you can retrohale this without any problems whatsoever. No harshness, no bitterness, and most importantly, there isn't any spice in the cigar at all. So you know, it's not going to get these sinuses going or anything like that. So the floral notes have continued, and I must say the blend reminds me a lot of a La Gloria Cubana cigar. You know, one of my favorite cigars is of course the La Gloria Cubana, the Asia Pacific exclusive. The Revolution as it's called, and this is reminding me a lot of that. A lot of wind right here. I'm of course sitting on a balcony, you know, it's a perfect place to smoke a cigar, and the notes have continued. It's gotten even creamier, and there's a sweetness that's coming through it. It's more of like orange blossom honey sort of sweetness on the finish. So once again, it is a very, very floral cigar. You know, the notes, they're just coming along. Every puff is bringing along a consistent amount of flavor that is coming through to it. You know, it is wonderful. It is a beautiful smoke, and I must say, if this continues all the way to the end, this is quickly going to become one of my top 5 cigars right there. So I'm going to continue smoking. Okay, so almost done with the cigar. It is. I'm just going to let it rest for a bit here, and wow, Quai D'Orsay number 54. I must say it is up there with some of my favorites, you know. From start to the end, it's a, you know, you usually hear people say chocolate bomb, you know, spice bomb. This one is all about floral notes itself. From start to the end, the floral notes are really, really strong. Towards the end, you get a very, very nice sort of milky coffee sort of note that's coming in. The sweetness stays on, and towards the final third, you get a bit of white pepper that comes in on the finish. It's not too overpowering, it's not strong at all, it just lifts the palate up. It has got a gorgeous flavor profile. Now I must say, if you're gonna pair this cigar up with red wine or any beverage that's a bit stronger in taste, that may not be the best of ideas, because you know, this is a very mild cigar from start to end. Like I mentioned earlier, it's a perfect breakfast cigar. Now the Quai D'Orsay number 54, it is a brilliant smoke from start to finish itself. Flavors evolve, but they stay along the same lane itself. You know, you got a lot of floralness to it, cream, loads and loads of cream, vanilla notes to it as well. A beautiful honey sweetness that continues from start to end. Of course, towards the end, it gets a bit more darker in flavor. You know, it gets a bit more richer as well. And I did detect off and on, you know, I don't know whether it was just this particular cigar or not, but a little bit of chocolate that was finishing towards the final third itself. It is a great cigar. Now, of course, this is a relatively young cigar. You know, the box date was, you know, somewhere towards the end of 2017. So if you grab a few, make sure to age a few and just try it along, you know, every a month or so, 2 months or so, just try it out, and I can guarantee you will not be disappointed with the Quai D'Orsay number 54. Now, that's all for now, I'll see you guys at the next review. Let me know what you think in the comment section, what sort of cigars you want to see reviewed next, and I'll be back and hopefully I'll be reviewing those cigars for you guys. Till then, take care and bye-bye.